What is up, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today I'm switching things up a bit and talking about basketball cards. Today I will be giving you guys my top 3 basketball cards that I am investing in currently, and I will mention that most of these cards I have bought at least 2 weeks ago. Most of them I've bought maybe like a month ago. However, there are some cards that I bought recently, right before the NBA restart, and I've seen some good signs and upward movement of some of these cards I've bought, and I think there's a lot of opportunity for these cards to grow, as I think a lot of these 3 guys are going to be potential superstars to watch out for. So before we hop into the video, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. That would be much appreciated as I try to grow my channel. So without further ado, let's hop right into the top 3 basketball cards that I am investing in right now. So we'll start off with an honorable mention bonus card, and I'm going to start off with Trae Brown Jr., small forward for the Washington Wizards. So Trae Brown Jr. was a first-round draft pick for the Washington Wizards. The reason why I'm really investing in him right now is because Bradley Beal and John Wall and Davis Bertans all are not playing in Orlando in the NBA restart. So all of the playmaking duties has really fallen on Trae Brown Jr.'s shoulders. So while his 9.8 points, 5.3 rebounds, and 2.3 assists per game during the regular season weren't too impressive, and nothing on that really pops out at you, I think Trae Brown Jr., with this increased opportunity with the Wizards in this restart, is really going to have a chance to shine and show off his true potential. Earlier this year, on January 4th, without Bradley Beal, Trae Brown Jr. showed his true potential and put up 25 points, 14 rebounds, and 3 assists in a win against the Denver Nuggets. And so I think performances like that can be repeated in the bubble as the Wizards get started up again. In fact, today the Wizards played the Brooklyn Nets, and Trae Brown Jr. posted 22 points, 10 rebounds, and 8 assists in a near triple-double. So I think Trae Brown Jr. has so much potential to grow, and I think he's so underrated because no one really pays attention to him, and everyone's really focused on John Wall and Bradley Beal, to where Trae Brown Jr. is very undervalued and has huge potential. So Trae Brown Jr., great card to invest in. I would invest in his 2018 Prism basketball cards. I bought a couple of them a couple weeks ago for $2 a piece. They've now gone up to $7 to $8 a piece. And so again, they're still very cheap in raw form, ungraded. So I would be picking up a couple of his Prism rookie cards right now, because I think with the 6 games left in the regular season for the Wizards, I think Trae Brown has the opportunity to replicate those big numbers he puts up without Beal and Wall in the lineup. So Trae Brown Jr., great card to invest in. Moving on to my top 3, checking in at number 3 is going to be Tyler Herro. He's a shooting guard for the Miami Heat. So Herro was their first-round draft pick this past year for the Heat, and I see a ton of potential in Tyler Herro. In fact, if I were to compare him to a current superstar, I would compare Herro to Devin Booker. And Herro himself has actually said that he models his game after Devin Booker, and both of them are guys from the University of Kentucky, both one-and-done guys, and both very good shooters. I think Herro has the potential to develop into that Devin Booker type of player. And if you truly believe Tyler Herro in saying that he models his game after Booker, and if he eventually comes through and pans out to become one of those future superstars, then his cards right now seem very cheap. So I bought his rookie cards about a month or 2 ago for about $10 a piece, his 2019 Prism basketball card, and now they have shot up to $20 a piece. However, I do still think they're a great buy, even at the current price of $20. You can get them graded too, and PSA 10s, I believe, go for over $100. So that right there is a great profit, and I think Herro is going to develop into that future Devin Booker type level player for the Miami Heat. And I think it's a great long-term investment, but even in the short term, I think is a great pickup. I'm a big fan of the Miami Heat in terms of how they play. I think they are a very cohesive unit. Um, the Heat don't have a ton of huge superstars, but they just play so well together and they mesh well together as a team. They've got Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo leading the way. Then they've also got some role players like Tyler Hero and Duncan Robinson, who are both lights out 3-point shooters. And they've got guys like Jay Crowder, who plays really good defense and can knock down a couple of shots here and there. So I think the Miami Heat have a good shot at going deep in the playoffs, and I think they're going to give the Milwaukee Bucks and the Toronto Raptors a run for their money because that's just how highly I think of their team as a whole, and I think they really have a good chance at competing with them and potentially making an upset. You know, if they do make an upset, Tyler Hero is going to be a big reason why they are in contention and succeed in the playoffs. So I see huge potential there. Tyler Hero this past season shot pretty well from three. He shot 39%. I think there is opportunity for that to go up even higher and also have his volume go up even more. In a couple games, he scored 23 points against the Magic in February, where he went 6 for 10 from three. Against the Hawks, he also did well. He scored 29 points with 7 rebounds. Against the Chicago Bulls, he put up 27 points with 6 rebounds while going 5 for 11 from three. And then against the Washington Wizards, he went 7 for 9 from three, putting up 25 points. So Tyler Hero is one of those players who can get hot real quick. And if he does, he's going to pour on those points. So he's definitely a fun player to watch, and I think a great investment right now. So let's move on to number 2 in the top 3 basketball cards that I am investing in right now. And checking in at number 2 is going to be OG Anunoby, small forward for the Toronto Raptors. So I feel like a lot of people don't know who OG Anunoby is. When I said his name, you were probably like, who? OG Anunoby is a small forward for the Raptors who averaged around 11 points, 5 rebounds, and 1.6 assists per game this past season. I'm a big fan of OG Anunoby because of the Raptors system. The Raptors have done a great job in these past few years developing talent into superstars, and you can see it from Pascal Siakam, who won Most Improved Player of the Year last year and honestly could win it again this year, which is insane. Siakam went from someone who no one has ever heard of to one of the up-and-coming stars in the league and played a huge role in the Raptors winning the championship last year. And so there's another guy, Fred VanVleet, who the Raptors have developed from an undrafted free agent rookie to a solid role player and one of the better point guards in the league. Not top tier, but he is definitely one of the better ones. And so I think OG Anunoby is kind of the next guy in line. Him and Chris Boucher, I think, has developed pretty well too. But as for OG Anunoby, he's always really been a great defensive player. His offensive game has really lacked behind his defense. However, he has shown really good signs this past year that his offensive game is starting to catch up to his great defensive game. And so while his offensive numbers don't look great, I think he's going to exponentially get better. This past season, a couple of games where he really showed his promise. Against the Minnesota Timberwolves, he put up 25 points with 12 rebounds. And in another game against the Denver Nuggets, he put up 32 points with 7 rebounds and 7 steals. So I think that type of dynamic performance is really in the makings for OG Anunoby in the future. In fact, this past game against the Lakers during the NBA restart, I think a lot of people got to know who OG Anunoby is as he put up 23 points against LeBron while playing very solid defense against LeBron too. So I think the Raptors have a good shot at going far in the playoffs this year. And if they do, OG Anunoby is going to be a name that a lot of people are going to start to learn as they watch the Raptors progress through the playoffs. So again, I think a lot of eyeballs are going to be on the Raptors and to see if they can repeat as a champion without Kawhi Leonard. A lot of people know about Kyle Lowry and Pascal Siakam. However, OG Anunoby is a guy who I think can really develop and become that next star for the Raptors. So let's take a look at some of the cards that I would be buying of OG Anunoby. So I mentioned the Prism 2017 basketball cards that I have bought. I actually bought these probably 2 or 3 months ago for $2 a piece. And now, after not paying attention to those cards at all, I check again and they're $25 a piece now. So that exponential rise is pretty crazy. And I do think there is still room to rise for those cards. So if you can't afford that $25 card, buying a couple of those, I would be looking at the 2017 Optic basketball set. OG Anunoby rated rookie cards in that set are going for about $15 a piece on eBay. And so I think if that $25 Prism card doubles to $50, then the Optic should also be able to double from 15 to 30. So I think percentage-wise, these are both like similar investments, and the Optic is a cheaper option to where you can buy multiples of his cards and flip them. And then finally, the 2017 NBA Hoops OG Anunoby cards are going only for $1, which I think is severely underpriced. In fact, I picked up 10 of them yesterday and got a little discount, so I picked 10 up for like $7. So super good deals, and I think that card is going to go up at least to $5 a piece within the next week. So all of these cards have tremendous potential to grow, and these are just some of the cards that I would buy. In case you aren't familiar with basketball cards, Panini Prism, as you see on the left, is the kind of the flagship card, the one that most people invest in and buy and view as a true rookie card. Then there is the Optic set in the middle right here with the rated rookie. This is kind of seen as a second tier rookie card. And then finally, Hoops is the lowest rated of the three. But all three are rookie cards and great cards to invest in. If you look at Luka Doncic and Trae Young, their Prism cards are obviously insanely priced, but now their Optic and even their Hoops cards are also insanely high in terms of pricing right now. So again, even these two bottom cards are great cards to invest in. So moving on to the number one basketball card that I am investing in right now, and I can say that I have invested a ton into him, is going to be Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who's a shooting guard for the Oklahoma City Thunder. I've gone all in on SGA. I think he's a future superstar. During this past season, he averaged 19 points, 6 rebounds, and 3 assists per game, playing alongside Chris Paul and the Thunder. SGA came over from the Clippers in the Paul George trade, and so that has actually worked out pretty well for the Thunder as well as the Clippers, as SGA has really blossomed into a future superstar for the Oklahoma City Thunder. If you watch him play, it's really fun to watch. He is so silky smooth, and he's got great ball handling skills. He's a very underrated passer. Even though he only averaged about 3 assists per game, I think his playmaking ability and passing ability is so underrated. And I think he has the future potential to average in the high 20s in terms of points, about 28 points per game and 9 to 10 assists per game, and be that perennial double-double guy night in and night out, while his rebounding is also really good too, obviously averaging six rebounds a game. He has the potential to be a triple-double threat night in and night out in the future. So I think Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is a future superstar. He had a game earlier this year where he put up 20 points, 20 rebounds, and 10 assists against the Minnesota Timberwolves. Again, 20, 20, and 10, which is an insane stat line. And then against the Blazers, he put up 22 points, 10 rebounds, 5 assists. Against Luka Doncic and the Mavs, he put up 19 points, 10 assists. And then a couple of days ago against the Utah Jazz in the NBA restart, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander put up 19 points with 6 assists. And so I think he's a future superstar. He's had 3 games of 32 points this season, and he's shooting 47% from the field and 35% from 3. I think he's got a lot to improve in his 3-point game. And when he does, he's going to be just amazing to watch and one of the top 10, top 5 potential players in the league in the future. So let's look at his cards. The 2018 Prism basketball card is the flagship card to invest in. I bought them back when they were $20, and now they've jumped up to $50. A lot of people are starting to get hyped about SGA and its potential. So I think the $50 card is still a good investment right now with tremendous room to grow. You get any of these cards graded, they're going to be well over $100 if it comes back at PSA 10 or even a PSA 9. So I think that Prism card is a great card to invest in. Again, if you can't afford that, buying a couple of those $50 cards, buying the Optic rated rookie card from 2018 is a great investment as well for $25. And then finally, that should say 2018 NBA Hoops is going to be $15 for the SGA rookie card. So again, I'm very high on Shai Gilgeous-Alexander as a potential superstar in the making. So I would get on him now and just watch the prices go up, because I think it is only up from here. So let's recap the top 3 basketball cards that I mentioned. Starting at honorable mention, I had Troy Brown Jr., who I think is really going to take on a huge role in the NBA restart for the Washington Wizards. Number 3, I've got Tyler Hero, who I think has Devin Booker-like potential and a future superstar. And I'm a big fan of the Heat in terms of their cohesive unit as a team, and I think they're going to play very well in the playoffs. Number 2, I've got OG Anunoby, who I think is next in line to be the next Raptors development into a superstar. And at number 1, I have Shai Gilgeous-Alexander of the Oklahoma City Thunder, who I am very high on and I think is going to be one of the best players in the league a couple of years down the road. So these are great players to invest in right now. And I hope you enjoyed watching the video. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and stay tuned for more videos.